This is Nobleman Nick here. We got Silly Scaper. We're reading another bio of Rising Tides, another Revna hero.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait to use him, I know. Especially with the figures we're getting this month in the mail.
Yep.
But, yeah, this art looks pretty sweet. It's the Hellforge Mandikor. His only organic part is that little area where his head is up there.
Yep.
And the rest is like a big
Furnace
tank with arms.
All he does is just to consume and feed.
And his bio
Is basically that.
is 4 paragraphs and 2 other sentences, and yeah.
So here
it's
we go.
A really cool bio.
Oh yeah, I loved it.
So here we go. At first, the entire crew took up the refrain as they fed every non-essential item they could into the Hellforge Mandikor's roaring furnace. So long as the Hellforge burned the Essenic aboard the Brimstone-class star cruiser Terror could still hope to repair the ravaged vessel. Those hopes, alas, were in vain. As days turned to weeks, it became clear that the ship could not be salvaged. As the weeks turned into months and no help came, the crew's ritualistic refrain died away. It should soon be replaced by screams of terror. With non-essential supplies exhausted and further repairs impossible, the crew initiated shutdown protocols, hoping their rations would last until a rescue vessel arrived. So he's probably worse that they had him than not had him.
Yeah, because it gets a lot worse. It kind of turns into a little bit of a horror part as you read. So
Hellforge Mandikor had other ideas. When his fellow Essenic attempted to shut down the forge, Mandikor knocked them aside and began devouring everything in sight. Starting with the food, the crew mounted a brave defense, but their weapons had been among the first things that had been fed to the Mandikor's flames. As the terror drifted silently through the void, Mandikor began to hunt. One by one, he caught and consumed his comrades, pitiless in his grisly work. At last, with nothing left to burn, with the last guttering finger of forge fire nearly extinguished, Mandikor switched off his photodetectors and prepared for the end. It was not the end. With a sickening alert, the deck of the Terror vanished, and Mandikor suddenly found himself in a blasted wasteland. Before him loomed a towering figure cloaked in leather made from 2 enormous bat wings, flanked by smaller winged humanoids of a more angelic mien. So apparently, Revna lives in a wasteland.
makes sense.
Sensing Mandikor's malevolence, one of the smaller Kiri took to the air in a flash of feathers. That same instant, Mandikor's steel claw lashed out, catching the Kiri by the foot and dragging the struggling creature into its nightmare maw. In a flash, the furnace flamed anew, so he ate Revna's Kiri when she brought him.
Literally brought into this world. Oh, snack!
Though Revna was somewhat less than charmed by their introduction, she recognized Mandikor's power and potential. Drafted into her service, Hellforge Mandikor Forge Fire now burns with infernal fury. Sometimes they get a lot of the same letter in a row.
Yeah.
Like F. Never again will the sacred furnace starve. Never again will the flames gutter and go out. Though he has rejoined the Essenic war host, even they stay well clear of his vice-like grip. For they know full well that Mandikor no longer discriminates between friend and foe. Mandikor gazes upon Valhalla and sees only one thing: fuel.
Just consumes everything. That's what this thing is.
So, yeah. Here's the figure.
Yeah.
Well, you can't see his face, but here you go.
Yeah.
So he's big, he's on 1 base, which makes him quicker.
I just want to point out that the color is blue for like the furnace, so that would imply that it's so hot. That's like the hottest color to usually see in flame is blue, which is more than yellow, which is more than like red. So
Yeah.
it's really hot.
So he's a Scenic, he's a unique hero, he's a devourer, obviously. He's menacing, he's a huge 9, so another huge figure.
Yep.
We got a lot of big, large, and huge figures.
On one base.
Yep. Yeah, huge figure on a base of 1.
So that's gonna be he's gonna move easier than other big figures. So that's gonna be
which is good
terrifying.
For his power.
Yeah.
But he has 6 life, 4 defense, so he lives longer than normal. Plus, he heals sometimes. 4 attack, higher than normal. 4 move, a little lower than normal. But to help his speed, he has a Scenic Advance at the start of each round after all order markers have already been placed, which is nice because then you can know what someone's plan is and you can use this to go towards them. If all your order markers are placed on Scenic army cards, so that needs to be a thing for this to work, you may move Hellforge up to 4 spaces. Hellforge must end this movement on an empty space. And someone was saying, not sure if it's true, but it kind of makes sense, that you can use his other ability to kill people and heal while he moves using this. So, makes sense. But here's the other power. So, Blast Furnace 15. During his turn, before moving with it, and each time it moves onto a space during this movement, you must roll the 20-sided die, once for each figure adjacent to Hellforge. So you roll the dice like 5 times if you roll in the middle of 5 people. If you roll a 15 or higher, that figure receives a wound. Figures with lava-resistant special power are not affected. Hellforge cannot roll for Blast Furnace against the same figure more than once per turn. He could take Disengage, but you can potentially burn a whole bunch of figures. And if you roll into a big group of like 4 people, you should be able to kill one of them, or wound at least one of them with that. Then he has his normal attack. And also, during his offensive turn, or if anybody else dies, the other power can be activated. So Feed the Forge 15. If a figure or destructible object adjacent to Hellforge is destroyed, you may roll the 20-sided die. If you can add 8 to the roll if the figure that was destroyed next to him is a Scenic, a Soulborg, or destructible object. If you roll 15 or higher, you may remove a wound marker from this card. So if you have the Scenics and Soulborgs on your team, or the enemy does, he can heal easier than he normally does. So instead of 15 or higher, what even is that? 7 or higher, I think? Yeah. To heal a wound from each figure that's destroyed next to him. So if he destroys you with his normal attack, if he destroys you with Blast Furnace, and then if someone else gets destroyed next to him that's friendly, he can heal from any of those. And he has 6 life, so each turn if he's healing, like, I guess each turn for each opponent will probably be what could happen. He could be healing pretty easily 2 wounds a turn. So that helps him live a long time.
And what was his stats again? I know you said the life.
His points are 130, so he's probably worth that if you got him in an Scenic Soulborg army. And his other stats are 6 life, 4 defense. So if he's healing with that, he lives a long time. And then 4 attack on top of his Blast Furnace means his offense is higher than normal for sure. And he's a little slow, but he has a Scenic Advance, so he's pretty much normal speed.
Okay.
And the Scenic Advance happens after everyone does their turn. So if he's close enough with the Scenic Advance at the beginning of the round, someone has a turn on someone near you, you can just roll over to them, try to use Blast Furnace and Feed the Forge.
Yep.
At least that's what some people are saying. And you could potentially take them out. You may move. It doesn't say you can attack. It doesn't say you can normally attack. It also doesn't say you can do the other thing, so I'm not sure if that's really a thing. But either way, it helps his move for sure. So yeah, he's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, he'll be interesting.
You'll see him around.
Just eating
While he's
everything
eating
in
all
his,
your guys.
literally devouring Valhalla somehow.
Alrighty. I think
Okay.
that's it for that video. We got
Yep.
one more, so see you
Well, the
guys
two
in the next
promos.
one.
Bye bye.